Hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we're doing the 9th recipe from the Candy Cane Murder. They are called the Devil's Food Cookies, and it is quite a long recipe because it has 2 frostings that go on half each. So half's vanilla, half is chocolate. So these do need to chill for a while. So we're making it the night before and it'll sit overnight. You are going to want 2 cups of flour, 1 3/4 cups white sugar, half a cup cocoa powder. And it has a word of warning about cocoa. When cocoa is used in any of my recipes, make sure to use plain old American cocoa. I usually use Hershey's unsweetened cocoa. There are many designer cocos on the market. They're wonderful in their own right, but they won't work in my recipes. Make sure you don't buy cocoa mix, which has powdered milk and a sweetener added. Stay away from Dutch processed cocoa, it has alkaline added. Also beware of cocos that are mixed with ground chocolate or other flavorings. They won't work either. Things were simpler in my grandmother's day, and this Devil's Food Cookie is one of her recipes. If you're in doubt, check the ingredients that are listed on the container of cocoa. It should say cocoa and nothing else. With that, you're going to want half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a cup melted butter, that's 1 stick, 1 beaten egg, just whip it up in a glass with a fork, half a cup extra strong coffee. I brewed French roast double strength, half a cup white sugar in a small bowl for later. Then you're also, for the white powdered sugar icing, going to want 1 cup of powdered sugar, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 to 4 tablespoons of light cream. Lisa's first note, there's no need to sift the powdered sugar unless it has big lumps. Mine always has lumps. Then you're going to want chocolate powdered sugar icing, 1 cup powdered sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 3 to 6 tablespoons of light cream. Lisa's second note, if you want to be really fancy, you can make powdered sugar icing with food coloring and use other extracts besides vanilla. So with that, the recipe seems pretty straightforward. You're gonna mix what seems like the dry ingredients, and then you're gonna add in the wet ingredients. Then you're gonna chill it overnight. Eventually you'll bake them at 350. You'll roll them into dough balls, toss them in the sugar, and then bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. You're gonna cool them for 2, let them on a wire rack. If you leave them on the cookie sheet for too long, they'll stick. It does say greased cookie sheet. It took some hunting to find it, but it does say greased cookie sheets. All right, Hannah's note, when Lisa wants to make these fancy for cookie catering jobs, she drizzles them with fine horizontal lines of white powdered sugar icing. Then she mixes up chocolate powdered sugar icing and drizzles them with fine vertical lines. Here are the frostings she uses. The recipe in the book says to put half and half. So I'll see what I want to do. Everything is laid out. Let's get started on the first part. This is everything we're going to need for the cookies, the chocolate icing, and the vanilla icing. Okay, so in our bowl, we want to take the flour, the sugar, cocoa powder, the salt, and the baking soda, and get these all mixed together. To that, we're adding the melted butter, next is the beaten egg, and the strong coffee. Should be all there is to it. And just scrape down, give it a good stir by hand, make sure everything got mixed in. Alright, now we just need to cover this up and chill it till tomorrow. Okay, so we're back. We have the cookie dough out of the fridge. We have our tray lined with silicone mat or a non-stick spray. Oven is preheating to 350. We have a little bowl of sugar, but I'm going to put this in a bigger one so I can roll it around. And repeat. It does say if they get too soft, you can always pop them back in the fridge. It actually recommends only doing the amount you need and then baking them and then putting it back in the fridge between batches. But because I chilled it overnight, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But if it does turn out to be one, I'll just make sure that when they come out of the oven, I tell you how many batches we got. So yeah, I'm going to scoop up the rest and we'll see how many we get. We are done with the first part of these cookies. We still have to do the icing for them, but there are 45, so it does not make a lot. Now they're gonna bake at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. We are done with the first part of these cookies. We still have to do the icing for them, but there are 45, so it does not make a lot. Now they're gonna bake at 350 for 8 to 10 minutes. So we have baked all of the cookies. Like I said, it does not seem like a lot. They are cooled off. So now we are going to make the icing that we will put on top of them. Okay, so the first icing we're gonna make is the vanilla. So we have the powdered sugar, the salt, the vanilla, and the 2 tablespoons of cream. And then we just mix that together until it forms a icing. Now, it does say if it's too dry, you can always add more cream. Or if it's, too wet, add more sugar. Just add a little at a time until it comes together. And remember, always add a little at a time because you can always add more, but you can't take it out. You can add more powdered sugar, but eventually you're gonna end up with buckets and buckets of icing if you do that. So you are putting this in a Ziploc bag to squeeze out over the cookies, so you do want it considerably drizzly. But you want it hard enough that it'll set. I'm going to stick it like this. Now I have a nice little bag. I'm just going to snip a little off the tip. Not too big. And we're just going to go along the cookies. For the chocolate, we're basically doing the same thing. You're taking your powdered sugar, your salt, vanilla, I believe it's 3 tablespoons of cream it starts with for this one. And you're adding the cocoa powder. Hence the reason why you're adding more cream. And just stir that up. And now we're going to go the other way from where we cut the white. So white horizontal, chocolate will be vertical. The only other thing on this recipe is it says to let them dry thoroughly before you pack them away. So I think I'm going to give them about 5 minutes and then we will test them out. And this is what they look like when they've all been done up. Ready to try?
Yeah.
Mmm.
Oh,
It definitely tastes like devil's food cake.
By the way, I probably should have introduced myself the first time.
This is Benny.
Yeah.
He's my baby.
I'm here every day. Sometimes I just come onto the video, sometimes I don't.
It depends on what smells the best. But they didn't take too long. They have a smooth chocolatey flavor. That's really good.
Yeah.
You don't really like the dough. You could definitely taste the coffee in it. But baked, it just enhances the chocolate. You cannot tell that there's coffee in it at all. But I really, really like these. How long it will take the icing to dry, I don't know. I gave it 5 minutes and it was still kind of smushing on the edges, but I don't think it'll take that long. My only downside to this is it did not make very many, and these are really good. But with that being said, next week, we will be moving on to Linda's Pecan Shortbread Cookies. So if you're interested in seeing that, join us next week. Bye.
Bye.